All right, today we are diving deep into a truly massive deal where a major social media platform and a crypto giant are teaming up. We're talking about the multi-billion-dollar partnership between Trump Media and Crypto.com. We're going to break down how it's structured, why the market went so wild over it, and what it really signals for the future of crypto in the corporate world.
So let's just start with the headline number, because it's staggering. We are talking about a $6.42 billion Treasury. A number that big immediately tells you this isn't some small experiment. This is a huge strategic play with massive implications for everyone involved.
Okay, so what's the deal with all that cash? Well, the main goal here is to create the world's largest dedicated treasury for CRO. That's the native token for the Cronos blockchain. Basically, they're building a massive, focused war chest of a single digital asset.
To really wrap our heads around this, we first have to unpack who's at the table and the brand new company they've actually formed together.
So who are the key players? Well, you've got Trump Media and Technology Group, you've got the crypto exchange titan Crypto.com, and you have an acquisition company called Yorkville. Now, these three are coming together to form a completely new public company. It's called Trump Media Group CRO Strategy Inc., and you'll find it trading on the Nasdaq under the ticker MCGA.
All right, we know who's involved. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. How is this whole thing actually put together? Let's break down the financials. And this is super important. It's not a one-sided deal. Both companies are putting serious skin in the game. You've got Trump Media buying up $105 million worth of CRO tokens, and on the flip side, Crypto.com is buying $50 million of DJT stock. This is huge because it means their fates are now tied together, giving them both a real incentive to make this whole thing work.
And look what that mutual investment creates. This new treasury is an absolute beast. It's holding $1 billion in CRO tokens. And get this, that represents 19% of the entire circulating supply. That is a massive chunk. On top of that, they've got $200 million in cash ready to go, $220 million in warrants for future investments, and a gigantic $5 billion credit line just waiting to be used for more acquisitions.
But look, this isn't just about stockpiling coins in a vault. There's a real plan here, a practical application. A huge part of the strategy is to bake the CRO token right into the Truth Social platform. We're talking about using it for things like user rewards and payments, which connects this financial powerhouse to a real, tangible use case.
So, you can probably guess what happened next, right? A deal this huge. Well, the market definitely noticed. And the reaction was immediate and powerful.
And you can just see the enthusiasm right here. The moment the news dropped, CRO's price, boom, it shot up 25%. At the exact same time, Trump Media stock, DJT, saw a really healthy 5.6% climb. That's a clear, positive signal from investors on both sides of this deal. And that 25% jump, well, it pushed CRO's total market cap to a whopping $6.62 billion. That is a massive vote of confidence from the market for the token and the whole Cronos ecosystem.
And it wasn't just the traders. The people behind the deal were just as bullish. The CEO of Crypto.com, Chris Marsalek, he went on X and said the deal's structure makes it a unique and compelling offering. Now, when the CEO of a giant like Crypto.com says that, yeah, people pay attention.
So let's zoom out a bit. Beyond the price charts and the immediate excitement, what does a deal like this actually mean for the entire crypto world? Let's look at the bigger picture here. You know, this thing has layers. For the Cronos blockchain itself, it's a huge boost to its fundamentals. But the macro view is even more interesting. This fits right into that massive trend we've been seeing of big institutions finally getting into crypto. It shows that corporate confidence in blockchain is growing. And with regulatory progress happening in the US, it all points to exchange tokens becoming a serious, legitimate asset for big-time portfolios.
Okay, before we get to the next point, just a quick tech check. What exactly is a validator node? Well, you can think of it like a referee or a security guard on the blockchain network. It's a computer that's constantly working to verify transactions and make sure everything is secure and honest.
And that's key, because this new company isn't just going to sit on its mountain of CRO tokens. Nope. It plans to be an active player in the network by running its own validator node. Why? This lets them earn staking rewards, but even more importantly, it gives them a real voice in the future governance of the Cronos blockchain.
Okay, so the deal is signed, the markets have gone wild. The big question now is, what's next? Where does this all go from here?
All right, if you're an investor, here's what you're going to be keeping a close eye on. First, how is the Treasury going to manage its staking strategy? Second, how fast and how well do they actually integrate CRO into Truth Social? And third, what are they going to do with that massive $5 billion credit line? These are the big signposts for the long-term success of this venture.
And all of this really just brings us to the big final question. This partnership is a huge step, for sure. It closes the gap between crypto and mainstream business. But it leaves us wondering, what other crazy collaborations are just around the corner that could push crypto even deeper into the fabric of our everyday lives? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.